You know, in our cities, we're surrounded by these massive buildings that we just trust. We trust them to keep us safe. But what happens when that trust is put to the test by threats we've known for ages and new ones we're just starting to understand? Today, we're going to dig into a really innovative engineering solution that's all about one thing: protecting lives when the absolute worst happens. I mean, think about the challenge here. It's huge. How do you possibly protect an entire city's worth of buildings, all different ages and designs, from a whole web of modern dangers? Dangers that can look like, well, fires, right? Where you need to get everyone out and fast. Or earthquakes, where the building itself suddenly becomes the enemy. And then there are home front emergencies, which are totally different. They actually demand that you find secure shelter inside the building. So you see, we're not just talking about one problem here. It's a triple threat. 3 completely different situations, each needing a unique response. And they're all happening in buildings that, let's be honest, were probably never designed to handle any of them properly. And the scale of this problem, it's just staggering. In Israel, which is where the system was born, we're talking thousands of buildings, public buildings, apartment blocks that just don't have the right kind of protection. That leaves huge numbers of people totally exposed. So how did we get to this point? Well, yeah, retrofitting old buildings is painfully slow, but it's actually way more complicated than that. Think about it. Those standard protected rooms, the ones designed to keep you safe from attack, they can literally become deadly traps if there's a fire. On top of that, since the early 90s, our cities have just shot upwards. They're taller, they're denser, and brand new threats have popped up that the old safety rulebook just never saw coming. It's completely outdated. And that brings us to the solution we're looking at today. It's not about slapping some more concrete on old walls. It's about a completely new, totally independent structure designed for this new, complex reality. And here it is. This is our first real look at the Yarmolinsky system, or the integrated security structure. You can see it here attached to a school. And what you should notice right away is that it's a separate tower. It's connected to each floor, sure, but it stands on its own foundation. So that's the absolute key takeaway, and it's right there in the definition. It is an independent structure. It's built to withstand earthquakes, and it offers a total solution. A place to hide, a way to get out, and a clear access point for rescue crews. It does it all. And this isn't some brand new idea somebody sketched on a napkin last week. This is the result of more than 10 years of hard work. It all started way back in 2012 with government-funded research. Then it got a thumbs up from the Home Front Command in 2015, and it even has an official patent. The next big step is a proposed pilot project to really get this thing off the ground. Okay, so how does it actually work? Let's break down the clever, multi-purpose design that lets this one structure handle 3 totally different emergencies. And this visual, this explains everything perfectly. Just look at the diagrams. In a home front emergency, people move from the main building into this protected tower, and they just shelter in place. Simple. But if there's a fire or an earthquake, that same structure instantly becomes a fortified escape route, letting everybody evacuate safely down to the ground. Now this right here, this is the single most important part of the entire design. Because this security structure has its own foundation, it is not leaning on the main building for support. That means it is engineered to stay standing even if the main building completely collapses right next to it. Its fate is not tied to the building it's there to protect. And get this, it's designed to be built crazy fast. They use prefabricated construction methods, so the foundation work only takes about 2 weeks. After that, the tower itself can be put up in just a few days. That means way less disruption for everyone. All right, so we've got a system that's multi-purpose, structurally independent, and quick to build. But how does it really measure up against the safety stuff we already have? Let's put them all side by side. This table just makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? The integrated structure is the only one on the list that actually provides a real solution for all 3 scenarios. You look at the other options, like those suspended pods or external stairs, they're pretty much one-trick ponies. And crucially, their fate is tied to the main building. If the building fails, they fail. The other stuff, like cable devices, is even more limited. Okay, now for the big question: cost. To give you some context, the source material points out that a standard earthquake retrofit for a school costs around 1,500 new Israeli shekels per square meter. Keep that number in your head. Because here's the kicker. The cost per square meter for this brand new comprehensive structure is roughly the same as just building a standard protected room. Let that sink in. You get a 3-in-1 solution that covers fires, earthquakes, and attacks for a price that's comparable to a single-purpose safe room. That's a massive upgrade in safety for a similar amount of money. But this is about more than just the engineering or the cost. This whole system represents a pretty radical shift in how we think about urban safety. The inventor, Engineer Baruch Yarmolinsky, he summed it all up with this incredibly powerful quote, "We save people, not buildings." And what does that really mean? It means making a deliberate choice to separate human safety from the building itself. The main goal isn't to make the building survive no matter what. The goal is to create an independent lifeboat that guarantees the people inside can survive, no matter what happens to the building around them. Which really leaves us with a huge question for the future of all our cities. As the threats we face keep changing and getting more complex, maybe it's time our whole definition of what makes a place safe needs to evolve right along with them.